Ever get that feeling, where you want to just dive into a whole new world,
Yeah.
but like you just don't have the time for like one of those massive fantasy novels?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
totally.
today we're your shortcut.
Nice.
We're diving deep into the worlds created by Samantha Shannon.
Ooh, Samantha Shannon.
You know her, right? The brilliant mind behind the Bone Season series
Yes.
and the epic Priory of the Orange Tree.
And you're in for a real treat today. We've got like interviews, discussions, behind the scenes glimpses.
Oh, wow.
All sorts of goodies from, YouTube channels like Bibliostar.tv, Bloomsbury Publishing,
Right.
and more. It's like having a backstage pass to her whole creative process.
It really is. And we're going to uncover like the hidden layers of her world building, her inspirations, how she weaves history magic
Yeah.
and social commentary into just like captivating stories.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, and you might even come away with a few aha moments.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, wait, that detail in the book was based on a real event.
Oh, absolutely. Prepare to see those books in a whole new light.
Okay, so let's start with the Bone Season. We're talking dystopian London in 2059,
Okay.
where clairvoyants are outlawed
Wow.
and hunted by this mysterious government force called Scion.
Sounds intense.
Have you ever read anything quite like that?
It's a pretty unique premise, that's for sure. And right at the heart of it is Paige Mahoney, our protagonist.
Paige Mahoney.
She's a dreamwalker, a rare type of clairvoyant who can actually enter people's minds.
Whoa.
Talk about a powerful ability, right?
That's incredible.
And to make things even more interesting, she works for a criminal syndicate
Oh, wow.
in the underbelly of London.
So it's like a spy thriller meets like paranormal fantasy.
Exactly.
And then, boom, she's captured by Scion
No.
and whisked away to this hidden penal colony.
Wow.
I remember thinking, where is this going? And then Shannon hits us with this twist
Yeah.
that reveals there's something much bigger going on behind the scenes.
It's a classic Shannon move.
Yeah.
And that's actually a great example of her flesh and bones writing method. She knows the major turning points of the story,
Right.
like Paige's capture.
Yeah.
But then she allows the details and characters to just kind of evolve organically
Right.
within that framework.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that's how you get those twists that feel both surprising
Yeah.
and inevitable at the same time.
She actually mentioned in an interview
Oh, yeah.
that while she was writing the first book,
Mhm.
she had this feeling that she was onto something special.
Cool.
She even told her mother that she thought she had something quite good.
Oh.
It makes you wonder if even at that early stage, she had a sense of the vast world she was about to create.
I think that's a feeling a lot of creators can relate to.
Yeah.
That spark of excitement when you realize you tapped into something unique.
Yes.
And in the Bone Season, that spark ignited a whole series.
Wow.
A 7-book arc.
7 books.
And that number 7 isn't just random. It actually pops up quite a bit in the first book.
Oh.
Almost like a hidden code.
So did she plan the 7-book structure from the beginning? Or was it something that emerged as she wrote?
Well, that's the beauty of her process. You see, she might have started with the number 7
Okay.
as like a recurring motif,
Interesting.
almost like a seed,
Right.
and then let it organically grow into the structure of the series.
It makes you want to go back and reread the book,
Yeah,
looking for all those 7s. It's like a hidden treasure hunt within the story.
exactly.
Speaking of hidden treasures, did you know that Shannon drew inspiration for the Bone Season from a very real place in London?
Wait, really? Tell me more.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
So she was fascinated by the Seven Dials area,
Okay.
known for its historic connection to clairvoyance
Interesting.
and like a slightly mystical atmosphere. It's like stepping back in time.
I see. So she took that real-world inspiration, that sense of hidden magic, and amplified it to create the world of the Bone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the Priory of the Orange Tree, that's where she takes a different approach.
Oh.
Diving deep into historical research and weaving real events into the narrative.
I love when...
I remember that moment when I realized the destruction of the ship, the conviction in A Day of Fallen Night,
Right.
the prequel to Priory,
Yes.
was inspired by the real-life White Ship disaster. This medieval tragedy. It just clicked.
It's those little connections
Yeah.
that add such depth and realism to a fantasy world. It's like
Yeah.
she's saying, look, these fantastical events,
Mhm.
they have roots in our own history.
And speaking of Priory,
Yes.
it's time to shift gears and explore this epic world,
Ooh,
inspired by, of all things, the legend of St. George and the Dragon.
really?
But hold on, because Shannon flips the script
Okay.
and gives us a powerful, feminist reimagining,
Love that.
and she expands on it beautifully. We're talking a world divided between East and West,
Okay.
each with its own unique culture, religion, and relationship with dragons. It's not your typical good versus evil black and white scenario.
Yeah, I can see that.
We have Sedan magic, which is rooted in the earth,
Okay.
and Starin magic, which is this almost otherworldly force connected to dreams.
Ooh.
And then, of course, the dragons themselves.
Of course.
We've got your classic fire-breathing wyverns.
Right.
But then there are these ancient enigmatic dragons, like the Nameless One.
Oh, wow.
And Mokshidra, who speak in riddles.
That's so cool.
It's mind-blowing.
You know, as we dive deeper into these magical systems and the intricate web of characters, it's important to remember that Shannon doesn't shy away from exploring complex themes.
Right.
Like chosen family.
Yes. The character of Wolf, a soldier with two fathers,
right,
really highlights that idea. It's about finding your tribe, the people who have your back, regardless of blood ties.
Such an important.
It's a powerful theme that resonates across both of Shannon's worlds.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. It speaks to like the universal human need for belonging and connect.
Yeah.
Even in the most fantastic. And speaking of connections,
yes,
let's talk about the intricate relationship between humans and dragons in the Priory of the Orange Tree.
Yes. It's not just a simple case of humans ride dragons.
Right.
It's a complex dance of dominance, respect, fear, and even the possibility of understanding and cooperation.
Right. It's not always harmonious, but there are moments where you see that glimmer of potential.
I know what you mean.
Those instances where humans and dragons work together.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if true coexistence is possible.
It really does.
Even between such different beings.
It's one of the many thought-provoking questions Shannon weaves into her narrative.
And speaking of thought-provoking, let's talk about the refreshingly normalized representation of queer relationships in her work. It's not a side plot. It's woven into the fabric of the world.
It feels so organic, so authentic.
Yes. The central romance between Sabran and Ede is so beautifully written.
It really is.
And it's not treated as something unusual or taboo. Their love is just a part of life in this world.
Exactly. And it's not just them. We see diverse LGBTQ plus characters throughout the story, from Wolf's two dads to non-binary characters whose identities are treated with respect, even using gender-neutral language derived from medieval terms.
It really highlights Shannon's commitment to creating inclusive worlds that reflect the diversity of human experience.
Absolutely.
But she doesn't stop there. She also tackles complex social issues, challenging traditional power structures and societal norms.
You see that most clearly in the Priory of the Orange Tree, where she explores the oppressive aspects of hereditary rule and the challenges women face when they hold positions of power.
It's like she's holding a mirror up to our own world.
It really is.
Asking us to examine our assumptions and biases.
And then there's the Republic of Commentum.
Yes.
A nation built on utopian ideals, but ultimately doomed to fail.
Oh, that's right.
It's a poignant reminder that progress isn't always linear. Even the most well-intentioned efforts can be fragile.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the forces that can undermine even the most hopeful visions of a better world.
It really does. And it makes you wonder if a truly just and equitable society is even possible.
It's a question that Shannon doesn't shy away from.
And you know what's fascinating?
What?
She deliberately crafted the Republic to pose a genuine threat to the existing monarch.
Really?
She even admitted that she forced herself to argue for a system she personally disagrees with.
Wow.
To ensure authenticity and complexity within the narrative.
That's a testament to her commitment to creating nuanced and thought-provoking worlds.
It's not just about escapism. It's about engaging with real-world issues through the lens of fantasy.
Absolutely. And even though we've covered a lot of ground today, we've only just scratched the surface of these incredible worlds.
I know, right? There's so much more to uncover.
Especially in the Roots of Chaos, the prequel series to Priory.
Oh, yeah?
Shannon has hinted at exploring the Wild Winter, a period of environmental upheaval that could have major implications for the world. And she's also planning to explore the origins of the magic system, revealing more about those enigmatic figures like Naporo, Cleoland, and Kaliba. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
I love that analogy.
Revealing new depths and complexities with every turn.
And it makes me wonder if we'll ever get a sequel to Priory.
Ooh, a sequel.
Imagine seeing characters like Tane again years later, navigating the aftermath of the events in the book.
The possibilities are endless, and I think that's what makes Shannon's work so captivating. She's created these vast, intricate worlds that feel both familiar and completely new.
Yeah.
There's always something more to discover, some hidden corner waiting to be explored.
It's like stepping into a portal and finding yourself in a place where anything is possible.
Exactly.
And that's the magic of fantasy, isn't it? It allows us to imagine beyond the limits of our own world, to explore different possibilities, to confront our fears and hopes.
Yeah.
In a safe space.
Absolutely. And Samantha Shannon does that masterfully.
Yes.
She creates these worlds that are both entertaining and thought-provoking.
Right.
That challenge us to think differently about ourselves and the world around us.
And that's something I really admire about her writing.
What's that?
It's not just about escapism. It's about engagement.
Right.
It's about using fantasy as a lens to explore real-world issues.
Yes.
To spark conversations.
Yes.
To inspire us to imagine a better future.
And as we wrap up this deep dive into Shannon's work, I can't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder.
Yeah.
It's incredible to think about the sheer scope of her imagination, the intricate details she weaves into her stories, and the complex characters she brings to life.
It makes you realize that there's so much power in storytelling.
Definitely.
It can transport us to other worlds, introduce us to different perspectives, and even challenge our own beliefs and assumptions.
So true.
And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's a constant process of discovery, both for the writer and the reader.
I completely agree. It's amazing how she just pulls you in, right? Creates these immersive worlds that feel both familiar and completely unique. Like she's taken classic fantasy tropes and given them this fresh modern twist.
And she's not afraid to delve into the darker aspects of those tropes either.
Yeah.
When we talk about the magic systems in Priory, especially Starin magic,
right?
It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
No, it's not.
There's a real sense of danger and moral ambiguity there.
Yeah.
Especially since it's tied to dreams.
Oh, yeah. Dreams can be powerful things,
right,
revealing hidden desires and fears.
Exactly.
And in the hands of someone skilled in Starin magic, those dreams can be manipulated, used for both good and evil. It makes you think about the nature of power and the responsibility that comes with wielding such a force.
Absolutely. And there's this one detail that still gives me chills.
Oh, really? What is it?
Remember at the end of Priory, when Tanae starts bleeding mysteriously?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Even Shannon's editor didn't know what that meant.
Oh, wow. Really?
Talk about a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
It leaves you with so many questions.
Like, what does it mean? What's going to happen next?
Exactly.
It really highlights the power and mystery surrounding Starin magic.
Yeah. And it shows that Shannon is willing to leave us hanging, to keep us guessing, even when it comes to major plot points.
Right.
Speaking of things that leave you guessing,
okay,
let's talk about the dragons.
Yes, the dragons.
I mean, you've got your classic fire-breathing wyverns,
right,
which are terrifying enough on their own.
Totally.
But then you've got these ancient, enigmatic dragons, like the nameless one.
Oh, yeah.
And Mokshidra.
Right.
Who are shrouded in mystery and speak in riddles.
It's like they're these forces of nature beyond human comprehension.
They're not your typical fantasy dragons, are they?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
They're not just beasts to be slain or tamed. They're complex creatures with their own agendas and motivations.
Yeah.
They challenge our perceptions of good and evil, reminding us that there's often more to the story than meets the eye.
And their relationship with humans is anything but simple.
Oh, definitely.
It's this intricate dance of dominance, respect, fear, and maybe even the potential for understanding and cooperation.
I think that's what makes it so compelling. We see those glimmers of hope, those moments where humans and dragons connect on a deeper level.
Yes.
It makes you wonder if true coexistence is possible, even between beings so different.
It's definitely one of the most thought-provoking aspects of the Priory of the Orange Tree.
It is.
And speaking of things that are thought-provoking, we can't talk about Shannon's work without mentioning the representation of queer relationships.
Oh, absolutely not. It's so important.
It's not just present, it's normalized.
Yeah.
It's woven into the very fabric of the world.
It feels so organic, so authentic. It's not about checking boxes or making a statement. Right. It's about depicting these relationships as a natural part of life world.
And it goes beyond just romantic relationships.
Oh, for sure.
We see a diverse range of LGBTQ plus characters throughout Priory, from Wolf's two dads to non-binary characters whose identities are treated with respect.
Yes.
Even using gender-neutral language derived from medieval terms.
It's really impressive.
It shows that Shannon is committed to creating inclusive worlds that reflect the diversity of human experience.
Yeah.
And she doesn't just stop at representation.
Right.
She tackles complex social issues head-on, challenging traditional power structures and societal norms.
In both the Bone Season and the Priory of the Orange Tree, We see her questioning the oppressive aspects of hereditary rule and highlighting the challenges women face when they hold positions of power.
It's like she's holding a mirror up to our own world.
It really is.
Asking us to examine our assumptions and biases.
And then there's the Republic of Kamen.
Oh, the Republic.
A nation built on utopian ideals, but ultimately doomed to fail.
It's such a poignant reminder that progress isn't always linear.
Right.
Even the most well-intentioned effort can be fragile.
It makes you think about the forces that can undermine.
Yeah.
Even the most hopeful visions of a better world.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if a truly just and equitable society is even possible.
It's a question that Shannon doesn't shy away from.
And what's interesting is that she deliberately crafted the Republic to pose a genuine threat to the existing monarchy.
Really?
She even admitted that she forced herself to argue for a system she personally disagrees with.
Wow.
To ensure authenticity and complexity within the narrative.
That's fascinating. It shows that she's willing to challenge her own beliefs and perspectives to create a truly nuanced and thought-provoking story. And even though we've covered so much about Shannon's work today, we've really only just scratched the surface. There's still so much to explore.
I know there's so much more.
Especially in the upcoming installments of The Roots of Chaos.
Yes.
The prequel series to Priory.
More prequels.
She's hinted at delving deeper into the Wild Winter.
Oh, wow.
A period of environmental upheaval that could have major implications for the world.
That sounds intense.
And she's also planning to explore the origins of the magic.
Okay.
Revealing more about those enigmatic figures like Naporo, Cleolind, and Kalaba. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Revealing new depths and complexities with every turn.
And it makes me wonder if we'll ever get a sequel to Priory.
Oh, a sequel. I hope so.
I imagine seeing characters like Tanae again years later.
Yeah.
Navigating the aftermath of the events in the book.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
And I think that's what makes Shannon's work so captivating. She's created these vast, intricate worlds that feel both familiar and completely new.
Yes.
There's always something more to discover, some hidden corner waiting to be explored.
It's like stepping into a portal.
Right.
And finding yourself in a place where anything is possible.
Exactly.
And that's the magic of fantasy. It allows us to imagine beyond the limits of our own world.
It does.
To explore different possibilities, to confront our fears and hopes in a safe space.
Absolutely. And Samantha Shannon does that masterfully. She creates these worlds that are both entertaining and thought-provoking, that challenge us to think differently about ourselves and the world around us.
And that's something I really admire about her writing.
Yeah.
It's not just about escapism, it's about engagement.
Absolutely.
It's about using fantasy as a lens to explore real-world issues, to spark conversation, to inspire us to imagine a better future.
And you know, as we wrap up this deep dive into Shannon's work,
I
can't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder. It's incredible to think about the sheer scope of her imagination.
I know, it's amazing.
The intricate details she weaves into her stories and the complex characters she brings to life.
It makes you realize that there's so much power in storytelling.
There really is.
It can transport us to other worlds, introduce us to different perspectives, and even challenge our own beliefs and assumptions. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's a constant process of discovery.
Yes.
Both for the writer and the reader.
I completely agree.
Wow. It really is a journey, isn't it?
It is.
And one that I'm so glad we got to share with you today. We've explored so much. From the dystopian streets of the Bone Season to the dragon-filled skies of the Priory of the Orange Tree.
It's been quite the adventure.
We've uncovered hidden layers of world building, discussed complex themes, and even debated the merits of fictional republics.
And I think it speaks to like the depth and richness of Samantha Shannon's work that we could spend hours talking about it and still only scratch the surface. There's always something more to discover, some new detail to obsess over, some character's journey to follow.
You know, as we were prepping for this deep dive, I found myself going back to those aha moments in Shannon's books. The ones where history and fantasy collide. Where a character makes a decision that completely changes their trajectory. Or where a single sentence unlocks a whole new layer of meaning. I don't know about you, but those are the moments that keep me coming back for more.
Absolutely. Those aha moments are like little gifts the author leaves for us to find. They make us feel like we're part of something bigger, like we're in on the secret. And they remind us that even in the most fantastical stories, there's a kernel of truth, a connection to our own world that makes it all resonate on a deeper level.
And I think that's what makes Samantha Shannon such a remarkable writer.
Yeah.
She manages to balance those fantastical elements with real-world issues.
Right.
Creating stories that are both entertaining and thought-provoking. She doesn't shy away from the darkness.
No, she doesn't.
But she also offers hope. Glimmers of a better future, even if it's a hard one.
It's a delicate balance, and one that she achieves with such grace and skill. And I think that's ultimately why her books stay with us.
Right.
Long after we've finished reading them.
Right.
They challenge us, they inspire us, and they remind us of the power of imagination.
Yes.
To transport us, to teach us.
Yeah.
And to connect us to something larger than ourselves.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we have one final question for you. If you could step into one of Shannon's worlds, which would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Would you brave the dangerous underbelly of the Bone Season? Hone your psychic abilities and fight for freedom against a tyrannical regime? Or would you journey to the east and west of the Priory of the Orange Tree? Learn the ways of Seedon and Star and Magic? And perhaps even ride a dragon.
It's a tough choice.
It is.
Both worlds offer incredible adventures, complex characters, and thought-provoking themes. But ultimately, the decision is yours.
We hope this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for the depth and complexity of Samantha Shannon's work.
Yeah, me too.
If you haven't already, we encourage you to pick up one of her books and embark on your own adventure.
Yes, definitely.
Who knows? You might just find yourself getting lost in a world you never knew existed.
And maybe you'll even have a few aha moments of your own. Happy reading.
Happy reading, everyone.